Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Kids on Brooms edition mystery at Salem Academy. I am here, of course, with the internationally known Stephen Gutierrez.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
I am Sir Aaron Carter. Forgot to even introduce myself. We got the impossible girl, Amelia Leibowitz.
Hola.
Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to merge those two together.
Amelia Leibowitz.
Yeah.
Amelia Leibowitz, now with added bread.
Wow. Then, of course,
Ayakio'd bread.
our game master is here with us. Squiggles, say hello.
Hello.
And we're not late. We're right on time. So
Sweet.
A wizard
wizard
arrives
is
exactly when he means to.
there it
Wizard
is.
is never late. Bilbo Baggins, he arrives precisely when he means to.
Exactamundo. So I'm going to pass this over to our game master so we can get right into it.
Yeah, so as anybody who was with us last week knows, we're playing Kids on Brooms, which is powered by Renegade Games. It is a new system that just came out. And we are at Salem Academy, which is a American East Coast institution for wizards to come and learn wizardry and magic. And we are with 3 students in particular who are returning to Salem Wizardry Academy. We have Azax Emberwolf.
Hey, that's me.
Pepper Leibowitz.
Why?
And Eli Carter. And
Good
so
day.
what I'm going to ask is I'm going to ask Pepper, give everybody a recap of what happened last time for anybody who wasn't with us. So that way we know where we're starting.
Thank God you chose her, because I would have been like, we
I
fought a
feel like
dragon. It was cool.
I felt like it was a wise choice. She seemed
It
to
was
have
a-
the most notes.
Yeah. No, it's
Nothing.
very wise.
Nothing she says as she scrolls through things looking at the names of our teachers and what they look like. So we met our intrepid trio, Eli Carter, hailing from the Carters, 15-year-old upperclassman. This is his second year. He's a casual slacker with his trumpeter swan, Idris.
Ooh.
He's returned Idris. He's returned back to school, as well as his compatriot, Azax Emberwolf, 15, another upperclassman. He has a deep-seated family mystery where magic has been skipping generations, and he's ready to find out why. With his familiar, a red and orange-eyed wolf cub with black and white fur named Luna. And then me, I'm Peppa Leibowitz. My family's been here. I am 14, and my familiar is a elf owl, so he's 1.5 ounces. He's like 6 inches tall, and his name is Lionel. Hello, because he makes those faces. But we have had our first day back at school, and sitting in our, I believe it's our History of Magic class, which is at the end of the day, with Professor Goldhorn. We had Peggy Simpson, who, in hearing parts of our backstory, she totally ate it on her broom, like face planted, and got her teeth and her nose fixed. So now she thinks she ought to have a bag of chips. Leaned over and whispered to us that all the cool kids at the end of classes, before supper, meet in the dueling hall, and we have an illegal duel to see who is the best of the best of the best. Upon us arriving, we find that a very large bald boy named Dooley is guarding the door.
Dooley.
Dooley.
We lacked the password to get in. So upon a rather intrepid persuasion roll by one Peppa, I get to sneak in, and I am accompanied by Azax Luna. I meet a girl named Jill on the bleachers. We talk her into basically divulging what the password is, which you're teleconnected? Telekinesis with Luna.
I have a telepathic link. Yes.
There we go. So Luna passes it over to Azax, helping to stop a little bit of the beef that Eli is brewing with Dooley out in the in the front hall, granting them entrance into the hall. We proceed over to the far side to sign up, where I do not sign up. But Eli does, as well as Azax. I do hand them a little bag of herbs to help protect them. One being nettle. I didn't write my nettle. Wait, I gotta actually check my notes. I don't think I put what was in the bag aside. I remember nettle and marjoram. Nettle helps bounce back. Basically, I gave them each a bag of herbs that have not been imbued with magical property, but usually if they are charmed or treated the right way, they can help protect against spells, bounce back, and ward off jinx or break spells. Peppermint, that was the other one. I successfully had to check. Successfully handing one to Azax, as well as trying to sneak one into Eli's pockets, which I failed.
Didn't work.
He's like, okay, didn't work. But you're like, okay, that's great. We proceeded to hear the announcement for the duel and for members who are ready to line up.
Ooh.
That is, and that's where we left off. So before we jump into it, I will ask. Also, Pepper, I think you officially have the job as note keeper at this point for that wonderful recap that you've done.
My bread.
So I'll start with Azax. Azax, so your first day of school back in. Tell us a little bit about just a brief recap, few sentences about your character, and then what you think your character hopes to do, to learn, to discover, to achieve tonight in tonight's session.
Okay. So Azax, brief history. He is basically, in his family, he's the only one that has powers. There's a long line of people that have not got powers besides his great grandfather. So he's kind of wants to get answers to that, like why is it him, and he doesn't know the reason why he's lucky and the rest of his family basically can't use magic. But from this event that's about to happen now, he wants to gauge kind of how strong everybody is and like what they can do with magic, so that he can basically take what they can do and either make it better or use it for his own arsenal type of stuff. So he kind of wants ideas on how to use magic and stuff, because he's still a rookie.
Okay.
So
Yeah, makes sense. I think that's a good backstory. So tonight specifically, especially during this duel, is there anything specific that Azax's looking to do in tonight's session?
well, he wants to win.
Okay.
He definitely wants to win. He
Mhm.
definitely wants to prove himself worthy of being at the academy, and he thinks by getting as far as he can with these duels, he might be able to do that and convince some people that he deserves to be there. He also wants to see how Eli is doing, because Eli is he looks up to Eli since Eli saved him that one time, and he really kind of wants to see the power difference between them two, and to see if he can either catch up or improve, or whatever he can do going forward with their friendship.
I mean, sounds good. It sounds like he has a very classic motivation for somebody who's in a school given a little bit of position of power, the power of magic. Obviously, he wants to prove himself, and he wants to redeem his family name. Not that it was necessarily tarnished, but just that it hasn't had this magic. And I mean, proving yourself on the magic dueling field, I don't think that there's any way better to kind of prove how much you deserve to be here. So I think that's a great motivation for tonight. Eli,
Yes.
tell tell us a little bit about Eli. Tell us brief history of his backstory for anybody who didn't catch last time, and then what he hopes to do tonight.
Well, Eli, coming from a very prestigious family of magic users, has high expectations from his family about him doing anything at the school. So much so that he just doesn't seem like, or he doesn't think there's anything else but greatness for him. But at the expense of not hardworking to do anything at all. Like he's just like
he's thrown his weight around a little bit in the last session, didn't he?
Yeah. He kind of is kind of
cards down.
Cocky. You would you would say definitely. He's definitely going to, like, for instance, in this tournament, he's definitely going for trying to show the school, or the who's who in the school, that you should never question the legitimacy of the Carter family. It's just, that's just what we are. Like, it's, greatness all around. So we'll see actually how he does, big time on that one, because again, he thinks it's just going to come easy without any hard work whatsoever.
And he's from like the Manhattan area, right? Like his family's in the city. Like,
from Greenwich Village, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that thought is very interesting, because what would an underground Manhattan wizardry scene look like? Like that's something that may be explored at some point in this story, or maybe in a future story. Who knows?
Okay.
But that's a very interesting concept. Like because we in other media that has been very inspirational for this game. You see a very European version of things, but like a Manhattan, like that's people tightly packed. Like, what does that look like? That's interesting.
Maybe some brownstones around, or some old architecture. We will. I got some ideas.
So what is Eli trying to do tonight? What's like the big motivation for him?
Well, Dooley little ticked him off without showing him the proper respect at the door by just letting him in, because of his, him and his friend. Like, whoever is in the party with Carter is, is elevated, and Dooley didn't show that proper respect. So he's out to make a statement. He's out to definitely make a statement to let everybody know that there's a certain prestige that goes with the crew that Carter and the crew that he carries with him. So yeah, he's out to make a statement, basically, show the world some interesting magic.
Question for you.
Okay.
Like, do you see your character, like, you kind of have this little bit of a mob boss kind of, you respect the family. This is like, is there such a scene in your world, in the magical world of New York?
It's you said it. Is there a scene of New York? Is that what you said?
No, like that. You have kind of like that mob boss kind of.
Oh, it's all from the family. Yeah. It's all from the family, and being kind of from a giant family but an only child. Eli kind of looks to have his own type of family, quote unquote, under, and that's why he's latched on to, Azax and Pepper and stuff like that. Like, he's looking to have those connections and those bonds with people, because the generation above him are kind of to themselves. Like, they've got their, they're regal enough to be like, okay, you go to school, you do what you do, and then when you're done with everything, then you can join the bigger, echelon of family. But Eli's not waiting on that. He's like, I kind of want that feeling now, and he's just latched on to these other two students.
I think that's interesting. Very classic. Don't get enough of the positive reinforcement from your family, so you're gonna make your own. I like that. Yes. I like that a lot.
Salem Mafia, what's up?
And last but not least, Pepper. Pepper, you tell us just a little bit about Pepper. What her life is been about so far, and what she hopes to do tonight.
Yeah, so Pepper Leibowitz, as I said, her grand actually runs the I'm like, I didn't make my digital, so I have to actually read my sheet. Her grandmother, her Hildegard Leibowitz, actually runs the Fragrant Leaf um, and herb shop in town on the island. And so I've been apprenticing with my gran to actually take over as the matriarch of the family. Not that there's a big problem with my parents, but that they've had magic for a while. Magic doesn't really skip generations in ours, but it's kind of what you do with it. So the expectation is that we will provide back. Now, my family has decided in the off season, so when I'm not at school and I'm actually allowed home, we live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because my dad likes to actually be around the NIMS, which are the non magical inhabitants of the island as well as our world around us. He's got a little bit of an Arthur Weasley type of vibe. He's not super obsessed with them, but he likes giving opportunities for little bits of magic to help other people. Meanwhile, my gran is very traditionally raised in the ways of magic, and so there's a very large push to not only understand the properties of the medicinal properties of the world around us, the natural world around us, but as well as magical to help improve our lives and supply the all the inhabitants of the island with what they need. I do have a tendency to get lost, except if I'm on a broom, because I just do. And I seem to not be prepared, but I'm always kind of prepared. Like I find what I need. So that's a little bit about me. And then for today, my goal to achieve during the duel, I have not signed up for the duel on purpose. My usual directive is to collect information, which means watching. I'm hoping to help out Azax because Jill's got something going on for him, and I got to make sure that he's okay. Which you might want to go back and watch the last session to see what went on with that shenanigans. But I really care about the friends that I make, and I want to ensure their safety, but as well as gain additional information, which means watching and learning. So this opportunity for me in this session as well as in this duel is to gain more information, and how I use it, we shall see.
I like it. I really like the concept of your grandmother at the fragrant leaf and herb shop. I don't know how much she will come into play during this little mini campaign we're doing. However, I'd like to think in my own headcanon that she would be very close to an Uncle Iroh type. Maybe that's because I've been watching a lot of Avatar recently. But into the leaves, into understanding the properties of the world. I like to think that she would be a little bit like that.
She is, but not as cool. Because let's be honest, Uncle Iroh is boss. But pretty much
True.
when in the last session when Eli came in and he placed down the card, she's like, "Oh, that's nice," and it was very kind of like, "Yeah, okay, you're human. It doesn't matter who you are. You come in, and we're gonna help take care of you. It'll be good." So if she starts dispensing some more information, and if you hear any more of my gran says, we're gonna have to deal with it.
I like it. Well, let's get into tonight's session. So where you guys left off, you were in the dueling hall. For anybody who doesn't remember last time, it is a long, narrow room. There are a single row of bleachers on both walls, and there is a long, kind of raised platform in the middle, wooden, very old, very high, tall ceilings, higher even than most of the rooms that you've seen in the castle. And you imagine that is to allow rooms for the spells to take place and occur. And the platform is raised high enough where everybody can see from the bleachers, but they will be out of harm's way for any magical effects that might happen up on the platform. You see Zachary Banks, the head boy for your house. Remind everybody what house you're in.
We're
cohort.
We're in the Finches, if I'm not
Yeah, we the Finch house. Oh, what?
Finches. And the Finches primary trait is charm, as all three of you have your strongest trait as being charm. So that is, and I think we chose that because a group of finches called a what?
Called a charm, homie.
There we go. So you see Zachary Banks, who is the head boy for your cohort there, and he's definitely in an, like, this is unexpected for him, right? Like, to really build on this, like, he is supposed to be the disciplinary head of your cohort of the finches. He is supposed to make sure that nobody steps out of line, and this is a very illegal, off the books duel that's about to happen. Usually the duels are facilitated by teachers in study and in preparation for learning and passing tests. However, there's no teacher here to supervise. He seems to be, he and a few other cohort head boys seem to be in charge of this, and specifically, you've heard or you've learned about this duel for the first time. It happens every year, and it seems to be a tradition that that the head boys or head girls help put this on. And so you see him step up on the platform. He looks around to everybody and says, he puts his wand. I don't have my wand. It's downstairs. That's a problem. That is going to be a real problem for me. So he puts his wand up to his face, and he says, "Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's duel. We're currently getting ready to have our contestants come up and fight for the title of best wizard in the school. Everybody just take a seat. We will randomly pick names. Your names will be called. We will be fighting in teams of 2, and you will be paired at random. So please, everybody take a seat, and we'll start calling names shortly." And so you guys all go and sit next to each other on the bleachers. You guys are sitting next to Jill. You find Pepper over there near her when you guys come in, and Jill is just giving Azak some eyes, like.
I do not notice at all. I am sitting there literally just like talking to Luna and just like worried about but I'm actually talking. I'm not using the telepathic link. I'm just kind of like, I got this. I'm talking out loud and trying to pump myself up. And then at the same time, I'm kind of worried about Eli, because his fight's about to happen. So that's, I'm gonna go up to Eli and I'm gonna be like, "Hey man, what's your game plan? What's your game plan on this fight?"
It's pretty simple. It's game plan. We win. It's actually kind of fortunate that we're doing duos. I didn't know that was a thing on this one.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's kind of a surprise.
I don't know
What's
how.
that random?
Yeah, it's at random. I don't know how they're picking everybody, but if we get picked together, we've already won then.
Yeah, I just hope our numbers come up together, man. It'd be dumb working with somebody you don't know. I don't want to work with somebody you can trust.
We might have a little say in how they're picking things. We'll see.
All right.
Jill sitting over there overhears and goes, "Hey, you guys are trying to get on the same team?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see that basket over there? And there's on the platform there is a large basket that you see a bunch of folded up pieces of paper. And she goes, that's where they draw the names from. So it would be highly against the rules, but you could try to charm the papers with your names on it to be pulled together.
Well, there is no trying. We're about to. I want to I kind of want to get closer to that. Is there like somebody in front of it?
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's not anybody like guarding it or anything. It's just sitting on the stage. There are people coming and going to and fro, but nobody particularly like monitoring it.
Okay, yeah, no, we're about to charm the heck out of this one. Actually, ooh, okay, so I want to kind of inspect and see how these, because you said it's duos, right? Basically, that's what we're doing.
You are doing duos.
So I want to see. I kind of want to know how the names um, are picked. I want to kind of get over there and try to find my name and Azak's name and have those two pieces of parcel paper or whatever
Well, why don't we
intertwined.
ask somebody because Zachary's been head boy, which means he's probably been here before. We could just ask him how they usually pick it. Like, do they do one at a time when they pick for the pairs, or do they just grab two randomly? Like, we could ask him and find out before we have to go through and start, you know,
That's a good
magically.
idea, Pepper.
Yeah, Pepper. So they don't come onto the idea. I say you go ask. Take Luna with you. She'll be by your side again. And then we'll listen again that way. It seemed to work the first time. You know what I mean? Just that way we don't give them the heads up.
Yeah. Well,
I
and I'm
guess
not participating anyway, so like it's not gonna hurt me to go talk.
exactly.
Um, so I'll get up and I'll dust off my outfit a little bit, and I'll look at Luna and nod at her, and we'll start walking over towards the basket. Is there anybody that I see that I recognize from last year that I know is an upperclassman?
Great question. Make a let's make a check for that. Let's see. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay, my friend.
All of my stuff is on my other computer. We're gonna make a. You know what? I think this would apply to
Yeah.
charm.
We were applying it to the charm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, got
Mm.
this.
Okay, rolling. Yeah, 17. I heck I know somebody over there.
Yeah.
Nice.
So who is it that you know? Tell me who is it you know, and how do you know them? What's your relationship to them?
So walking over towards the basket, I see Gregory. And
Mhm.
I have to Gregory Mech,
Okay.
and I remember him from last year my being in my charms class with Professor Aladendra or Aladandra. I could just call her Professor Bethany because it's really hard and frustrating to try to pronounce her last name. Or if we just call her Professor A, it sounds like we're calling her Professor Asshole. She's super nice.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
know Gregory. I know Gregory. He's 16. He is in one of the other cohorts. We
Yeah,
didn't get
he's in
the name.
he's in the Badgers.
He's in the
Um,
Badgers.
which is the cohort for Braun.
Ooh, LeBron. So I know him because of Charms class. And so I walk over and I'm like, hey, Gregory. It's really good to see you again this year.
Great to see you too. How are you doing, Pepper?
Not too bad. I mean, it's the first time that I actually, got in for the duel, so I'm kind of excited to see what's happening. Are you participating?
Actually, I am participating. I'm both fighting and I'm going to be uh, in charge of choosing names from the basket. In fact,
You're choosing names. Now, you did this last year too, right?
I
I
did.
mean, not
I
the choosing
did.
names thing, but you did the like
Oh,
the
I was fantastic last year. My strength was unmatched. I was second place. Technically, it was matched, but just barely.
I love it. And so that's really, really cool. Who beat you out last year? If you were two.
Oh, you don't remember?
Well, remember last time I got caught up because Dooley had enchanted the door and I was running late. So all I could do was hear it from the outside and I didn't know. I didn't find out and nobody told me.
It was your head boy. It was Zachary Banks. He hit me with an
No!
he hit me with an illegal spell to the head. Never ever aim a spell at the head. That could be very dangerous. It was
Right?
illegal. That's why I say I was unmatched. It
Exactly.
was
I mean, you can't cheat.
completely illegal. He definitely cheated. But being a Finch, you know how charming you all are, and easily, easily, he got his way yet again.
Well, that was last year and not this year. I know you can be number one this year.
I think I can be number one myself. I think that I will be the best this year. And in fact, once we get this started, I intend to prove it.
I totally agree. So how do you pick, like last year, did they do like the shake the basket, hold it up over the head, pick two at one time, pick one at a time? I mean, how do you ward off people cheating?
Oh,
Like,
it's
well, in the basket.
I mean, I don't know that we've ever had a cheater. But the way that we
Wow.
pick is super easy. He pulls out his wand, he points his wand at the basket, and he goes, "Elegre," and 4 pieces of paper magically shoot out of the basket and line up magically in front of him. And he goes, "See these 4? They'll be first." And there are 4 names on the papers, the parchments that are just floating there. And he goes, "That's simple as that. It's quite an easy spell. I could teach it to you if you'd like."
I mean, definitely after the duel, I want to learn it because for levitating and choosing things, you know how I have a tendency to kind of misplace things in my bag. I think that would
Mm,
totally help. But I mean, I think maybe Zachary kind of cheated last year, not just with the strike to the head, with the illegal spell, but if he matched himself with weaker opponents on purpose, like did he hex? You think he hexed his paper?
I don't know. That is very interesting. He he did cheat me once. He may have cheated me twice. Oh, that
Well,
boils my blood. However, this year I have something special in store for your head boy.
I mean, I can't wait to see what you have. But so it just kind of randomly decides with the Allegra spell, or is it the Allegra spell? Is it a Tigris? I
It's Elegre. It is Latin for choose.
Oh,
Allegri. Hmm.
that's really good to know. So it just chooses randomly.
It does
Well,
choose randomly.
that's really cool. And meanwhile, Luna is passing this all
Yeah, no,
telepathically
she's
over.
she's just relaying. It's like I can hear from her ears. That's kind of
I like it. So is there anything that you need from me? I mean, I know I'm just going to be watching from the stands and cheering you on. Actually, some of my friends from Finch are going to be participating. I'm just kind of really excited to see what goes on. But is there anything I could do to help you? Like, do you need someone to hold the basket? Like, put a sheet over it or anything before you
No,
duel? Or
no. Nothing like that. Just root for these muscles
can't do
when I get
great.
up on stage.
Okay, well, and I think I've got one of my friends with me, and we can totally throw our voices, and make it echo in the hall. It'd be really cool.
Oh, an applause spell. I like that. I like that. A thunderous applause when I get on stage. That would be amazing.
Done.
Can you
I've
can you make that happen?
Well, I can totally make that happen, but could you do me a favor? Just a little one.
Sure. How can I help you, Pepper?
So my friend Azax, it's his first time dueling, and he really
Mhm.
wants to be partnered with my other friend Eli, and they both threw their names in the hat. Is there any way we can kind of keep them as a team? I mean, Azax he's primary illusions, and so I don't think he's going to be a really big threat later on. And I'm just like looking at Luna like, please don't be mad at me, please don't be mad at me, please don't be mad at me. But
her eyebrows raise when she's
but if we could get them teamed up, I mean, I have no doubt that at the end of the day, you are going to be king of the dueling hall standing on top, but I know it would be a really big support to both of them if they had each other as a team.
Make me a charm check.
Uh-oh.
Real quick. Ooh, that's nice. Real quick, just so you guys know, because I failed to cover it when we first started. For your adversity tokens, so for the benefit of everybody who is watching, whenever a player fails a roll, they gain an adversity token. Real quick, just to kind of cover what you can do with those adversity tokens, is you can spend an adversity token, or other players can spend an adversity token to help you with something that you're trying to do, a planned action to get a +1 benefit. You can also discard any number of adversity tokens, each token adding a +1 to the roll that you roll. So if you have a surplus of adversity tokens, you can use a +1 to, or you can use those to add a +1 to your roll. And you can use your adversity tokens for any of your abilities that are on your character sheet that require adversity tokens. So if you'd like to help each other, or if you'd like to use your adversity tokens to gain +1s to your rolls, you can certainly do that. But you do have to do it before we know
You have
the
to announce
outcome
it
of the
before you
roll.
spell.
Yep.
You have to announce it before you roll.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna
So
stick with that roll.
yeah, and so he looks at you and he goes, I'm not supposed to.
I know, but it
I
was just this one time.
you know, Zachary cheated last year. What's a little bit of harmless matching in the pot? And he pulls out his wand and he whispers a word, just quietly enough for it to be inaudible for you to hear. And you see the basket of ripped parchments kind of do a little shuffle. And that's it. That's all you see.
Interesting.
Thank you so much, Gregory. So the thunderous applause spell, I will make sure when you literally step onto the dueling onto the line. How long do you want it? Do you want it for like a good 15 minutes right before, and then we get that sudden drop and it gets really, or do you want like the 15 seconds, the 15 to 30 seconds, or
15,
do you want to do like
15
15
seconds
seconds?
is, I think that's plenty. 15 minutes,
Sorry,
while
minutes?
certainly warranted for my brute strength, it's probably a little overkill.
Okay. Well, thank you, Gregory. And I'm going to like very politely kind of back up, turn around, look down at Luna, wink, and head back towards the bleachers.
Yeah, you do that. You head back towards the bleachers. You see Azax and Eli and Jill sitting there. Jill still just with this very gleeful gaze looking at Azax. Yeah.
And then we're gonna sit down and be like, okay, so Gregory's taking care of it. You guys are in the pot as a team. But just a heads up, I know Luna was kind of telling you everything, Azax, you could hear pretty much.
Yeah, I could hear as if I was standing right next to you guys.
Okay, so I do have to apologize. Like, I had to say something to kind of influence him to make it seem like you guys weren't a really strong team. He was the number 2, and I turn to look at Eli. From last year, he was second, because
So
Zachary cheated.
that's fine. I mean, if he was second, he wasn't first. So
Well, remember you helped out Zachary with that splinter in the butt issue, but the way, I mean, I've had Gregory in my class, in Charms class for long enough that he's like a really solid dude. I know he's from a Badger. He's Badger, so they're always like, "Oh, look at me and my arms, blah blah blah."
well,
But
Azax and I won't hurt him too bad.
Yeah.
okay, just I mean,
Try
if you're
not to.
knocking him out, be polite so that we can bring him back with the smelling salts, and it'll be easier than having him to go to the infirmary and then I have to explain all that, blah blah blah. Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm totally down for that. Azax, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Yeah. So around that time, you see Zachary get back on stage. You see the brawny badger companion that Pepper just talked to, Gregory, start waving his wand in front of the basket, and 4 names shoot out. They call up for the students, none of which are you, to the duel, and uh, they line up 2 on each side of the plank, or the platform, and Zachary clears the stage. You see a light, a glowing orb shoot up into the air between the 2 players, or the 2 teams, and as they prepare themselves, you see the light, the orb is red, and then it goes yellow, and then it goes green and disappears, and you see the students start dueling, and they start flicking their wands in the air. Fire shoots out, water, air, lightning bolts all shoot through the dueling hall. There's magical effects flying through the air. Lights and sounds are just filling the dueling hall. And one goes down, the other teammate goes down, and then you have a victor. And this occurs over and over again. Team 1, team 2, team 3, just about an hour of teams going up, and quickly one team falling with various intensities. Some are very close matches. Some are just students just trampling over other teams. A few students seem like they've gotten hurt, but there is a very tall, wiry-looking older student in the corner that seems to be casting mending spells on any of the students who seem to get hurt. And one by one, the names start flowing out of this choosing basket. And you guys aren't called. It's dwindling down very to a very small number of parchments in the basket. And you start to get concerned because it seems like you guys aren't going to be called at all. Then suddenly, say that again.
I did it. I swear, you guys. Like, I mean it.
Maybe they're just saving the best for last.
Maybe some people are scared.
So you guys, the basket starts to get low, and then 2 names pop up that you recognize. There are, on one team, there is Zachary Banks, and another older boy from the Finches, and Gregory Mack, and another boy from the Badgers, and they both get on the platform.
And I flick I look at Jill and I flick my wand back towards the wall behind me so it'll bounce. And I say, Piale Luese, which is applause in Latin. And the dueling hall is filled with thunderous applause that grow and seem to bounce and spread. And I poke her in the side and she casts it on her side. And so now the walls are filled with the echo of cheering.
And every time it says Greg, he goes, and you hear him grunting on stage, flexing his biceps, with a wand in one hand, and he is pumped. He is ready to do this. And so as the orb of light shoots up in between the 2 teams, red, yellow, green, they take out their wands and they start dueling. Greg starts off with a spell that shoots fire, a very tight fireball, straight from the tip of his wand, right at the feet of Zachary. Zachary counters with it looks like a lightning spell, but as it flies towards Gregory grabs it with the tip of his wand and redirects it up into the rafters, and the fight is intense. Spells are going back and forth. At one point, their spells lock, and you see this stream of energy just kind of lock between them. And At that moment that they're locked between, Greg is able to kind of take hold and again flick it off to the side, breaking that. And as he does that, he pulls up his wand. He aims it directly at Zachary's waist, and he says the words lignum. And you see from the platform that is the wooden platform there, giant splinters erupt from the platform and shoot directly into Zachary's butt.
Oh wow!
He collapses to the ground, and you see all of the students, with the exception of some members of the Finch House, just collapse in laughter.
Damn.
And at that point, the two members of the team, Zachary and his teammate, concede as they are too injured to continue on. And you see Greg put his arms in the air, victorious. He looks at you, Pepper. He points and he goes, "Yes!"
Oh my gosh, you guys, that was so cool.
A kid can't get away from splinters, it seems.
Yeah,
It's just all up there.
Well, so it looks like that's the number one right now.
that's good.
Yes.
Get affected.
As Zachary picks himself off stage, you can see that he is like tears are streaming down his face. Not only is he hurt, you can tell that his pride is hurt. He is embarrassed, and he is the laughter, I think, hurts more than the splinters. The splinters are easily removed. There's magic to take care of these effects, but the effects of all of the students once again laughing at him for all of the splinters that are in his butt truly seem to dig deep into his soul. And you see him having a slunken head, posture of just defeat as he walks over to the student that is issuing medical treatment.
Oh man.
And then you see Gregory go back to the basket. He casts the spell one more time, and two names pop up: Azax and Eli.
It's about time.
And it is the last two papers in the basket. And you're going up against Gregory, and you'd actually recognize his teammate. We didn't mention his teammate's name, but it would be Dooley.
Dooley's from the Badger cohort? Yeah, no, makes
Dooley's
sense.
from the Badger cohort. Yeah,
Wait,
absolutely.
Great. Did Gregory do the splinters?
Gregory
did the splinters.
No, he
Zachary
did the
received
splinters. Zach got the splinters.
Great. Okay, so we're going against. All right.
We're going against the Splinter Man and the gatekeeper who wants to
You're going
keep everybody
the wood
out.
manipulator.
Okay.
The wood manipulator, because lignum means wood in
the
Latin.
wicker man. You
So
take on.
I want to teleport Azax and I center stage, and like a lightning strike. Just
As he does that, I want to illusion like thunder clouds in the sky.
Yeah.
Or no, I want to make the actual clouds in the sky.
You're gonna
I'm
get
gonna
away.
say for both of those,
Okay.
those are going to be divination checks. So I'm going to say that's either brains or I'm going to say that's brains check. Divination is going to be brains.
Okay.
So roll a brains to teleport, and then also one to create the lightning. And tell me what you're going to do is you're going to, if it succeeds, describe what happens, and also you're going to tell me what magic word you say to make this happen.
Okay. Yeah, definitely gonna. Well, that's for Azax. He's got to use Cumulus if he's doing the clouds.
That's the clouds. Summoning clouds is Cumulus.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, that's a D10, right? So I don't know how good that is.
Let me roll mine.
Oh. So
D12 roll. Ooh, 5.
If you have adversity tokens, you can use them.
Yeah, I want to. Oh crap! I should have said that before I rolled, huh?
No. As long as I haven't described whether you succeed or fail, you can use them. Yeah,
Then,
I haven't said yet.
I'll use. I have 5 adversity tokens.
Okay, how many do you want to use?
I can use them on Aaron too, right? Or Eli.
You can certainly assist. So you can assist Aaron and Eli. You can help him with his spell to give a +1 for every adversity token you want to use.
Ooh, okay. Well,
let me get a minimum of 2 if you're gonna help out.
So then I'll give him 2, and I want to use 1 on myself to make that a 10.
And I'm gonna use 2 of mine. I have 3, right?
Okay, so that'll bring you to a 9.
A 9,
right?
yeah. Because if he's a 10, then I'll go 9. Just to kind of go ahead.
Yeah. So as your names are called, describe. So I'll say, Azax, you succeed with your 10. Describe the spell that you cast and how it works.
All right. So because I know what Eli is gonna do. He's gonna teleport us in. So I start the Ecumenous Thunderous, and so right above the stage, so the whole stage just starts forming in like these like thundery clouds, and you see inside the clouds like lightning going through them and around, and that's when we hit the stage, and then I'll let Eli.
Yeah. So there's this dense, very small cloud that forms high in the rafters. Lightning and sparks shoot from it. Thunder erupts from it. Eli, you don't necessarily succeed, but you kind of succeed. So I'm going to describe yours for you since you didn't technically succeed.
Okay.
You cast a spell on yourselves. You and Azax are engulfed in this light. You disappear from your spot. You do appear on stage, except you're facing backwards.
That's quite all right.
Am I also facing backwards since it's
Yeah,
you're both facing the wrong way.
So we're facing away from our opponents or away from
You are.
That's fine. So wait, should we be facing the crowd?
The crowd is
can, but you are, when you teleport in, you're facing just the back wall.
Oh, just the back wall? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then I want to dramatically turn in slow motion and face our opponents.
Yeah, so you come in backwards, but you this quick or the slow
Yes.
And then you swivel and pivot on your foot. Azax, are you swift enough to catch this, or are you just gonna turn around?
I'm gonna turn around, but I'm going to throw my cloak, so it billows as I turn. So it just looks like I have the greatest superhero entrance of all time.
And meanwhile, while he turns around, I point my wand up past my ear towards the sky, or towards the ceiling, and say "Tonitoa," and thunder claps really loudly as as he
Roll
turns.
divination for that.
Oh, divination.
Yes.
So that's a brains.
Brains.
That's a toy. Come on, big money, no way me. So it's a low it's a very low, gentle rumble, like.
Yeah. So you point your wand at the ceiling. You say the words. And it's just like
wow.
And I'm just like.
It's fine. It's fine.
At the same time, I want to send Luna to the opposite end of where they'll be entering.
Okay, yeah, you using your telepathic connection with Luna.
My telepathic link, yeah, to send her.
You say, Luna, go, and she knows exactly where you want to go. She stands up, very directly with much precision, just walks exactly where you want her to, and she just stands there.
All right. Yeah. I'll tell her to like sit for right now and just wait till her cue.
She sits and she looking at you, keeping eye contact.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good. No, I'm good.
You see Greg and Dooley standing on the other end of the platform. Greg, as we've established, is a very muscular, chiseled guy. He does not look like he has any body fat at all. Whereas Dooley is a little bit more rotund, a little bit more dumpy. He's got a shaved head, not like a clean shaven head, but like a buzz cut kind of haircut. He looks a little bit more just plain. He's nothing special. And you see him pull out a wand from under his cloak, and it is a big boy. Like as thin and nimble as your wands are, his is almost a tree branch. And it is gnarled wood. It really looks more like a tree branch than it does a wand. He points it at you and he goes, "Are you boys ready?"
I look at Eli and I nod. So I got you.
Let's
All
finish
right.
this quickly.
You all pull up your wands. Everybody roll me a flight check.
Flight check. Okay.
Flight.
Ooh, that's not
Flight or fight?
Said.
I'm sorry, not Pepper. Pepper's not in the duel.
Oh.
Thank you. I was prepping.
so
I
a
got
flight
nervous.
check.
Yes, flight.
Oh, sweet. Do I roll again?
You do. If it's a 4, you do.
Oh, no.
Roll again.
Dang.
You got it again.
Dang.
Keep it going.
I'm not even gonna.
Did it.
I'm not doing anything
There
for
we
a second.
go.
Oh wow.
Nice.
So it's a
So
D.
that's 14?
14.
All right, D4.
14. Damn. I was worried about that one.
All right, got
And
a
And
3.
So Azax, you are first in the turn order, followed by looks like Greg, and then Dooley, and then Eli. So what you're gonna do, the way that this combat's gonna work is you are going to first tell me what you are going to try to cast on your opponent. We'll figure out what stat that is, what stat rolls that spell type, and then they will roll to see if they can meet or beat that.
Okay.
I want to charm them
Okay.
by making them dance.
Okay.
I want them to dance. So yeah, it's just
So you can choose one target. You can choose one target.
I'm gonna choose Greg since Eli has a rivalry with Dooley right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to embarrass Greg because he embarrassed the head boy of our group. So yeah. So
What's your dancing spell?
ooh, so that's the thing.
It's charm. You said you want to charm them by dancing, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's charm. What are your magic words that you say?
Ooh.
They don't have to be Latin. They can be whatever magic words you choose.
I don't know any languages. Okay, so then I'm just gonna be like, uncontrollable, feisty feet, and then fucking they just keep moving, fierce, like he just keeps dancing.
I was really hoping you were gonna say you can dance if you want to.
Oh damn it, that was good. But no, because he's gonna start river dancing.
I'll tweak it.
He's gonna start river dancing. That's what he's gonna start doing.
So roll your charm.
All right. Oh God. Why am I more nervous to roll a d20? All right.
Come on, big man in the
Not
way.
bad.
16.
Not bad.
Woo!
Not bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
He rolls
Yeah.
on a d12. He can't beat a 16 on a d12. So describe. If you guys have the narrative control chart up, it is, I think, the third page. So you are beating by 1 to 3. So the attacker explains how they attack, and the defender narrates what they do to mitigate the harm to them. So you're going to tell me what you do, and then I will explain to you how it is that Greg starts to mitigate that spell.
Okay. So what's going to happen is he's just going to get this urge to completely start river dancing. And I mean, like, he's doing the thing where he's like kicking up, and then you know the river dance, right? It's just like
high
the little
kicks.
kick, and he's
There's
just
barely any movement on the arms, like just high kicks.
yes, and then he's just dancing around Dooley, like in his vision, like area, like kind of just staying in front of him, and he's just gonna keep doing it. Yeah, until his feet fucking hurt. Because fuck that guy.
Yeah,
He's
so
just river dancing.
he's dancing there for a good 30 seconds before he's kind of able to gain control of his wand and just angle it. He's not really able to lift his arms because he is in full river dance, but he is able to angle his wand, arms tight to the side, but angle his wand at his feet and dispel your spell.
Okay.
And then it's Greg's turn to roll a attack against you. He is going to lift up his wand. He points it directly at you, and with his brawn, he is going to actually cast the spell above your head. You hear him say a word under his breath that you can't really hear. Do me a favor, roll a brawn check.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not me.
All right. A brawn check. So that is a D8.
Ooh. Yeah, you have to crit on that. Oh.
Nope. Nope.
So he waves his wand above your head. There is, in this dueling hall, there is windows, high windows almost up in the rafters. And after he casts his spell, he kind of grins at you and winks. And nothing happens for a second.
Okay.
And it is Dooley's turn. So Dooley raises his wand at you, Eli. And also being a brawn, being part of the brawn cohort, he's going to cast. Actually, he's not going to play to his strength at the moment. I think he's saving that. So he starts murmuring words that you hear and you recognize as a hex.
But he has that bag that I gave him.
Roll your grit.
Okay, grit is 8.
Does he get a +1 for the bag?
If he wants to grab an herb and throw it in his mouth, he can, and I'll say that's +1.
So if I recognize it already, then yeah, I'm gonna definitely pop a peppermint.
It's in your little baggie.
What is your wand made of? Does he get the +1s from?
Yeah. So if you have any abilities, stats or wand,
it is unicorn core. I have +1 brains and +1 charm with it, so it doesn't. Yeah. You said roll grit, right?
Roll grit.
Yeah. Okay.
You're both D8s. He rolled a 7.
Ooh.
And he popped a peppermint into his. And he popped the peppermint.
It's only 5 still, if anything.
Yeah. But
Oof.
can help thicken a little bit.
you have very fresh breath with your peppermint. But you start to kind of twist and writhe in pain as these little sigils just kind of burn, like you see them burning into your skin, and you're just like, it hurts. It hurts a lot. But tell me what you do to mitigate the damage. How do you dispel it?
So I fight through the pain, and kind of try to stand up to my feet, even with the sigils all around me, and I kind of, through the pain and struggle, point my wand right back at Dooley, and then I just want to yell. Hold on, I have it here. Speculo.
Okay.
And
what does Speculo do?
It mirrors what's happening to me to him.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say that is I'm gonna say that's a grit. I think that is you just kind of powering through it to take your wand, take the spell that's on you, and redirect it back at him. So I'm gonna say that's a grit.
All right, so that's 8.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, no.
You do have adversity tokens. I haven't rolled mine yet.
How many do I have though? Like I thought I used one.
You start with 3, and then
And
every
use
time
1.
you failed last session, which wasn't at
didn't.
all actually.
Didn't
So you
fail,
have
yeah.
3 plus 1.
Oh freaking wow. That's not good regardless, but I have to at least get, because it's on a sliding scale, so I gotta use all 3. I gotta go 4.
What's considered an upper class spell type?
There aren't really upper class spells. I'm not sure what the question is.
Oh, because I have something my strength says trained in upper class. So
yes,
magic gains +1 to all spell type.
I apologize. We didn't talk about that last time. So for each of you who are an upperclassman, you can choose one type of spell: brains, bronze, flight, grit, charm, and you can choose one of those to get a +1 to.
Okay.
Okay.
As an underclassman, Pepper has the ability to use adversity tokens to charm her way out of trouble. So that is her ability as an underclassman, and yours as an upperclassman is choosing one of those to get a +1 in. So we didn't talk about that before. So if you'd like to choose one now, it can be grit if you'd like. I'm perfectly fine with that. You just let me know before I roll it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grit, and I'm using all my stuff so I can at least be at 5, I guess, or 4. You know what? I got 1, and then that's So I gotta use everything. 3 plus the 1, and I rolled the 1, so yes, 5.
Okay, let's see.
Booyah, sucker!
Yeah. So all of the magical sigils that are appearing just above your skin that are burning into it, you're able to take your wand and you're able to kind of touch all of them with the tip of your wand. They collect on the tip of your wand, and you're able to sling them back at Dooley, and Dooley starts to
How's that feel, Dooley?
He's taking it worse than you, and he looks back at you as you say, "How's that, Dooley?" And he goes, "I will teach you and your family who is the best wizard in this school."
Oh, we talking about families now. Okay.
At that moment, you hear through the windows high in the rafter one crash. A broom flies directly under Azax and lifts him up a few feet, probably like 5 or 10 feet, and then slides out from under him, dropping him down 5 feet to the ground.
Holy crap. Where'd that come from?
I already defended against this, right? And I failed?
You did.
Okay, yeah.
It just didn't happen immediately.
Okay. All right.
And it's back to Azak. It was Azak. Azak, you rolled high. It's back to your turn.
Okay.
Top of the round.
All right. So I want to cast an illusion by the entrance
Okay.
to make it seem like a teacher walks in,
Okay.
to basically force everyone to look that way,
Okay.
and at the same time I'm giving Luna the order to fetch, which means she's going to go and grab his wand, bite down on his hand and his wand while he's distracted.
Ooh. Okay.
That's a couple of steps.
Yes.
That's gonna be an interesting one to see how
Yes.
that goes.
So you're like
So-
doing like a double
So
situation here? Is that what's going on?
the spell for me is the illusion.
Okay.
So it's the illusion,
Telepathic
and then
link
the
is me telling Luna to bite.
Okay. Okay. So
Yes.
you're doing a spell and then you're telepathically telling
And I'm telepathically telling her to attack.
Okay.
I apologize. I drop out every once in a while because I am on Wi-Fi and
No
I'm
problem.
far away from the Wi-Fi source. So yeah, you do that. You're going to. I think you're going to cast that as. So astral projections. I'm going to say this is kind of a projection. So this is going to be a brains check.
A brains check. All right.
Mhm.
What are you sitting at on brains?
I have a D10, so it's my third highest.
Do you have any pads?
That's what I was trying to remember right now. So I spent 3.
I think you spent 3. Yeah.
I have 2 left,
2.
if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
And you're casting this. I mean, you're casting this essentially against everybody. So
shit.
I'm going to make this a difficulty check, not a attack check.
Okay. Damn, I don't. Oof. All right. I'm just gonna roll. So D10.
Roll for it.
I mean, what's
on,
the
come on,
worst
come on,
that could
come on.
happen?
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
I rolled a
Hey.
6.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad.
So okay. Quick question. So I have a thing called Lucky.
Uh-huh.
I can spend 2 adversity tokens to reroll a stat check. But then it says it does not reroll magic die.
So say that again. Yeah, it doesn't reroll magic die. It only rolls stats. So like if you're trying to charm somebody without magic, just being charming, you could reroll that, but you can't reroll magic.
Okay,
Because
so
it's
this
a
is
spell.
considered a magic thing. Okay.
It is.
Got
It is.
it. So I should have used adversity. All right, no, go ahead.
Yeah.
I rolled a 6.
You're good with the 6?
I can't re-roll.
No, but you have adversity
Ooh.
tokens.
It would have.
So
I don't think I'm beating
What
70.
in the world?
I
That's the
rolled a
percentage.
D100 to determine what 4 things I was thinking would happen. So yeah, you cast a spell, and a teacher appears in the doorway, and he looks very stern, very mean. In fact, you cast it, and it is your defense against the dark arts teacher. Defense against malicious magic. Let me copyright TM. Sorry. Let's
Defense
use the
against
right
malicious
terms here.
It's
Yeah.
Daddy's back.
Defense against malicious magic. Thaddeus Vex, looking extremely stern in his dark black robes with his black long hair, and his he has a very long crooked nose, and he looks just out at the crowd, and he raises a wand, and everybody turns that way.
What was the name of the spell for the illusion?
Yeah, what did you name that spell?
It was an illusion. So,
You can use a phrase if you like. It doesn't have to be a word.
let's see. I'm gonna go with Popo at the dodo, and then
Wow.
all of a sudden an authority figure shows up at the door.
You do just that. Authority figure shows up at the door, and you see the vision of Thaddeus holding his wand, raising it at the crowd, and it's Gregory's turn. Gregory raises his wand at you. And he is going to try to diswand you. And he's going to try to do that by literally ripping the wand out of your hand and summoning it to him. He's going to roll a brawn check, which is his top stat.
So the defense is grit, right? Because that's for,
It is. Can you beat it too?
No, well, I'm taking that for my upper class thing. I wanted to tell you that before I roll.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to roll a brawn to counter this.
A brawn to counter this. Okay, so I
Mhm.
roll D8, and then I automatically have a +1 because of that upper class stat.
If you roll a 1, you tie. If you roll a 2, you succeed.
Wait, I
Oh,
thought
shit.
you put it in grit.
Yeah, isn't that what I'm rolling to defend against?
No,
this?
you're rolling
no.
brawn to defend.
You always roll the same spell type. So the
Oh.
idea behind combating magic is knowing the same type of magic to combat it. You're going to try to counter his spell by knowing that type of magic.
Yeah, you're rolling
Okay.
the same thing.
Then it doesn't matter then for the upper class thing because I thought it was grit that was like defense. All right,
Yeah, absolutely.
3.
Oh my gosh.
You
Son.
you feel a tug on your wand like it's trying to pull away from you, but you're able to kind of rip it back and kind of correct it in your hand.
Nobody tugs my wood but me.
That's
and
terrible.
when you say that, his face just turns
Oh no.
mean. He snarls.
Oh, you start to see some of the people in the bleachers, since Professor Vex is standing there and he's raising his wand and he's watching all of us. You start to see some of the upperclassmen kind of poof off of the bleachers while they're
Yeah.
standing there.
Poof,
Because
poof, poof, poof.
and I'm sitting there going, crap. Guys.
Everybody, make me a brawn check.
Oh, I have a +1 for brawn. Yeah. Oh, right.
That's a 12. I don't think I have a +1 for any of that.
8.
Yeah, no, I don't have. I have
I'm a
brains, charms, and
3.
grit.
That's not.
3.
That is not great.
Wait, is this what I can use my lucky thing for?
There's lucky reroll magic.
Yeah.
Does it
Well,
reroll magic or abilities?
No, it's not. It's
Yeah.
stat. Yeah. I didn't know what this was for, so 3.
Good Lord, a 5.
Ooh.
So luckily, I rolled just as bad.
Oh, damn it! I should have used a fucking
Pepper
token.
and Azax, you're frozen. You cannot move.
And
And
petrified.
you start seeing Greg again, just kind of frozen, and you see Dooley frozen, and you see your head boy frozen, and then people in the stands start to be frozen, and the ones who aren't start poof, poof, poof. As the illusion of your professor starts walking towards you, and you realize it's not an illusion. Azax actually summoned the professor
Oh, way to
to
go.
the dueling hall,
Oh, shoot.
and he raises his wand and goes, "What is going on here?
I'd
Mr.
like to...
Carter, would you please like to explain?"
No, have me explain.
I got this. I got this.
I'm like just doing this.
You would like to explain, but you are petrified. Like you can't even talk at the moment.
Oh, I'm feared, not just frozen. I'm like petrified
but
fear.
You are held.
I'm not frozen, right?
Rabbit.
You did not get frozen.
Yeah, I'm still good.
You better
So
charm the pants off that man.
I'm gonna kind of walk up to him, and I'm gonna put the wand away as I'm walking up to him.
Professor Vex,
Good idea.
Be polite. Be polite. Be polite. It's Professor Vex.
And we were just actually practicing down here. Nothing more than just
Practicing. It looks like an illegal duel.
no. Actually,
Non-school sanctioned.
we were mimicking nothing. So no actual casting, just mimicking the movements.
The movement.
That's all it was. I mean, as you can see, there's nothing around, right? I mean,
And he looks up at the broken window and he goes, "And how do you explain that window?"
global warming.
No.
Make a charm check.
That's what I was going for. I got a D20 as a charm.
Yeah.
Global warming.
Mm.
And you have a
Looks at you and he
+1.
goes, global warming, you say. I've never known global warming to break a window.
Very strange weather we're having out here.
He raises his wand again and unfreezes everyone and looks at Zachary Banks, who has just been done getting mended. And he goes, "Mr. Banks, please approach." And Zachary kind of hangs his head and walks toward and goes, Yes, Professor Vex." He says, "You are a head boy, is that correct?" He goes, "Oh, well, yes, Professor Vex. I'm head boy for the Finches." And he goes, "You allowed this to take place?"
Can Zachary see like me behind the teacher?
Yeah, so the where you're at, you guys are
You
still
walk
on the stage. Zachary and Professor Vex are down on the floor, not even below where Pepper's sitting on the bleachers. You can see them, but Zachary would have his back to you.
Oh, Zachary has his back to me. Okay, so the teacher sees me. That's what it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
He goes. Zachary kind of looks around and takes a survey of the auditorium. And he goes, "Professor Vex, I take full responsibility for what happened here. It's been a school tradition for as long as I've been here. The first day of school, that we would
reenact a famous wizard duel in like a theater play. That's what we were doing here.
I jump up and I'm like, exactly. And I start climbing down the bleachers. Like, exactly, Professor. It's practice because, they show all of us underclassmen exactly what it would look like. But we don't really practice because remember, we're not allowed to practice magic without supervision of a professor, and it only has to be regulated. So Zachary, and I've made my way down and I'm standing next to Zachary. I'm like, so Zachary was kind enough as head boy to allow me and some of the other Finches, and I know Gregory had some of the underclassmen for the Badgers because we cheer each other on. We're about the support of our cohorts, and we just it's just a small thing, and I'm gonna spend 2 adversity tokens to use my my innocence to convince an adult to get us out of trouble.
So
threw that curveball at you, didn't we?
I like it. It's fantastic. So Professor Vex looks at you and he goes, "My dear, I am quite aware of the innate charm of you Finches, and while your story is very, very, very nice, it is unfortunately not believable. However, you are an underclassman. Mr. Banks here is the upperclassman. He is in charge. I will allow you to leave. But leave now, or else you will get detention too."
Okay, and then I'm gonna look at Eli and at Azax and go, is it all right if I um help my cohort members, my fellow Finches, and ensure that their familiars leave the hall as well?
Mr. Imberwolf and Mr. Carter were seen participating in an illegal duel. No matter how charming you are, Miss Leibowitz, you will not be getting them out of trouble today.
Am I still
Now,
frozen?
no, everybody, he's dropped
Everyone's out of
everybody's.
Oh, okay. I
So,
wasn't sure.
so all the rest of the underclassmen have slowly sunk underneath the bleachers, and they're poofing
Yeah.
while you disappear. And
It, in my defense, sir, in order to have a duel, you have to do something, aggressive and back and forth type thing. Every spell that was cast was more of a prank, so you can consider this a pranking competition instead of a um, dueling tournament or whatever you would like to describe this as.
Mr. Emberwolf, let me ask you a question. Are you the greatest wizard who has ever lived?
Yes.
I will be
Do you know every spell that there is?
when I learn it. Yes.
Have you completed all of your education and are no longer needing education at this school?
No, never stop learning. Education is fundamental for everybody.
So then you are telling me you are not the greatest wizard that has ever lived, and you do not, in fact, know every spell, and your spells were not 100% successful during this duel. Is that correct?
I am telling you that the spells that were cast were not aggressive enough to be categorized as a duel.
Yes, that is what you're
or
telling
anything
me.
like that.
However,
If anything, it was a show and tell. Hey, look at this new spell that I'm trying to teach this audience, and I kind of use my hands to gesture to the remaining people in the bleachers.
there's nobody left.
Okay, well then Pepper, to show the underclassmen how to charm the pants and make somebody dance uncontrollably. I believe Gregory was teaching us how to summon a broom, and also the clouds above us was a spell to teach people how to either have an effect on the weather and change it. So this could be potential for like farmers if they're in a drought. Who knows? We're showing the underclassmen lesson.
And
and I learned a new
Emberwolf,
one.
Miss Leibowitz, you have been
I learned a new one.
excused. Miss Leibowitz, you have been excused. Please excuse yourself before I choose to give you detention again. Please. Mr. Emberwolf,
Yes, sir.
what I am hearing is that you tried to summon, or that Mr. Gregory Hall has tried, or Gregory Mack has
Merch.
tried to
Merch. Or
is it
mech.
merch.
Mech.
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 Mech. Okay,
Mech.
I have mech.
Like a mech. Like a mech.
Like a mech
MECH.
space. Got it.
Yes.
Mr. Mech tried to summon a broom. However, if his spell had gone wrong, he could have summoned a boom and taken out half of this hall. If you had tried to make somebody dance, however, your spell went wrong, they could have lost a leg. If a nimbus cloud was summoned in this hallway and lightning were to strike an underclassman, how would I explain that to that underclassman's parent? Please, Mr. Emberwolf, tell me.
Well, before you came in to obviously see our progress as young wizards and witches, we had precautions, and there were other higher classmen, and I point to Mr. Zachary, right? Mr. Zachary,
Mr. Banks,
that was on standby. If anything was to go awry or malfunction, if you will, that they would be able to ward or protect or even use some type of first aid magic to take care of everybody. And if there was anything that went too out of control, of course, we wouldn't have hesitated to let the faculty know. Which is, I mean, nothing happened. So we can live in a world of what ifs, or we can live in a world with facts. And right now, the facts are nobody got hurt, and we learn new spells.
Um, so go ahead and roll a charm check. However, you will know that Professor Vex is part of the Bull House, and his overarching stat is grit.
Oh,
So
goodness.
go ahead and roll your charm.
All right, so I get a +1 from my wand, and
Okay,
then I
fantastic.
think was that I don't have a broom, so yeah, I get a
You're
+1.
not, you were on a broom momentarily. It was not your broom.
It was not my broom, no.
Luna is all upset over there.
Um,
16.
even with your 15, he is unswayed. And he goes, "You
Wow.
make a compelling argument, Mr. Emberwolf. I very much applaud your debate skills. However, this was clearly against the school rules, and no amount of charm of a Finch is going to weasel your way out of this. Now, Mr. Banks," and Zachary looks at you guys and goes, he goes, Zachary looks at Professor Vex and goes, "Professor Vex, ultimately I was responsible for this. I take full consequences. Please let my fellow classmen go. I should have known better. I should have done something better here." And Professor Vex looks and says, "I certainly agree. Mr. Emberwolf, Mr. Carter, please report this evening for detention after your meal. Mr. Banks, you will also be reporting to my office as we talk with the headmaster about whether or not you should keep your head boy status." Now you are all dismissed. Go eat dinner and be ready for detention. And Miss Leibowitz, if you are still here, and he looks at the door where you're headed and goes, "If you would like to join your friends in detention, please feel free."
I'll keep it under consideration, Professor Vex. And I'm like sliding out the door, and
Yep.
I take my wand and I point it over my shoulder, and just the tip is in the dueling hall, and I whisper, Lumina, and all the lights in the dueling hall go out.
Yeah, I'm not even make you roll for that. That happens. And that's where that scene ends. You guys, there was no declared winner from the duel.
Still feel like I, kind of one upped on Dooley there. So
I
I
mean,
mean, I'll take it as a
you could
win.
whisper it. We're heading down to supper, and I'm like, oh my guys, you could totally start that whisper campaign. I mean, Jill, Azax, she really likes you, and see if she can sway some of the underclassmen to get the vote for you. For, it's either we have to restart this, and I know Dooley will be really up to doing it. Same with Gregory; he's got a lot to prove. But you guys could talk about maybe, since you were the ones that were punished, only winners, get in trouble.
Huh.
Like real winners. Just saying.
Jill likes me, and I didn't hear anything else besides that. I just kind of pondering, like, huh?
Oh,
Me?
yeah. Did you? And I'm like starting that slow, like, oh, crud. Yeah. Well, okay. You can't tell her that I told you, but she really likes you, and she's been like trying to get you to notice her. And if maybe we're walking towards the great hall for supper, and I'm like, if you maybe just kind of talk to her, I think it would be a really, really
Luna's
good.
trying to get in between us to kind of push you away
Doing one of these.
slightly. She's just kind of trying to interfere.
But just like, hi Luna. If you just kind of talk to her maybe at dinner, then I think it'd be okay. And then I just kind of open the door to the great hall and I slip inside. before he can say anything.
Yeah, you slip inside. Folks are eating dinner. They're preparing for the meal, sitting down. You would see everybody who poofed out of the dueling hall, kind of giving you like a knowing, curious glance as the three of you walk in. You sit down for your meal, you enjoy it, and you guys kind of just relax from what just happened. And you would know, being students, that after dinner you would be expected, instead of having your free time that you would normally have after classes and after dinner, you'll be expected for detention, and you will report to Professor Vex's office for detention.
Oh,
So in the meantime, if there's anything you guys want to do in the dining hall before then, you can do that. Otherwise, we'll just fast forward to Professor Vex's office.
I'm just gonna eat a good chunk of bread.
I'm just gonna be like, oh, Eli, man, I let you down, man. I feel like I didn't do anything during that show and tell. I look around.
I feel like you did more than you thought. You summoned a full-grown person.
Yeah, man, I wasn't trying to do that though. I look around again. I was trying to make an illusion.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a pretty good illusion. It fooled the entire world.
Apparently, I made it real. Oh no!
Well, now you know you got that in your back pocket, though.
Yeah, apparently, summon teacher. Apparently, is going in my spell book.
And then it's just detention. I mean, what's the worst they can do in detention?
It's true. I mean, I don't know. We'll probably have to write some essays or something.
Yeah.
And then I'll look down at Luna and be like, Luna, you didn't even bite the guy. What happened? You missed your cue.
She's trying to get you out.
It's like, just pet her on the head and like, it's all right. Man. Yeah, and then I was trying to make Luna go bite his wand just to get it away from him, to distract him. And then I thought the pants or the dancing thing was going to just like make him, you know, at least distracted enough for us to get one or two more hits in.
As you're saying that, the guy that's sitting beside you looks at you and goes, "Bro, the dancing thing was awesome."
Oh man, well, I'm glad somebody likes it.
I've never seen anybody summon dancing in a duel. That was awesome. And he puts his hand up for a high five.
I fucking high five it, man. I go for it. High five.
Yeah, you smack it in. He's like, "Oh yeah, bro, that was fantastic." And it is another one of these. As you can kind of tell from his demeanor, it's another one of these Badger. The Badger kids, the Brawn kids. Like they have a different energy about them, a very alpha vibe, just as a trait.
Oh man, what's the school's mascot?
There's no specific mascot of the school.
So
what's it's just badgers would be.
Yeah, I was gonna say all we know right now is finches and badgers.
Mm-hmm. And bulls, greater bulls.
Bulls.
Oh, and bulls, the bulls. That's right. Mm-hmm. So there's only 3 so far, or okay.
I mean,
it's fine.
Let's just keep it coming up in narrative. People, you'll discover it as you need to.
Okay. All right.
You would know. You characters would probably be tangentially aware, but let's bring it up as it comes up.
Okay, I like it.
Don't forget finches, bulls, and what was the other?
Badgers.
Yep.
I've got written.
And so, as you guys are eating, you feel you're sitting there eating Azax, and you feel somebody bump into you as you're eating, and as you turn around and over your shoulder to look, it's Gregory walking past.
Is he still looking at me, or is he?
He just bumped into you and walked past.
I quickly grabbed my wand and like sneakily try to make him shit his pants.
Jeez.
Oh,
we're going.
Oh,
holy
poop! Literally.
You know, that honestly feels, number one, it feels on brand. Number two, it would certainly be the thing that somebody does at an American wizardry school. 100%.
Yep.
What's it
Um,
called though?
I want him to get the feeling like he's lactose intolerant and he just drank milk. That's
Hey,
that's what
that
I'm
takes
going
a few
for.
minutes to kick in. That takes a few minutes to
So-
kick in. So you're getting digest, unrest, and then he's gonna poop.
Yeah.
I mean, but it
So-
works.
Roll grit for me.
Oh
What's the
shit.
spell? What's
Okay.
the spell even called?
Oh
Uh,
god.
If I land it, I'll tell you. So I get a +1 from my wand, and then the upperclassman, I wanted to do another one for the
Mhm.
grit. That was the one I was gonna choose.
Yep.
So is that
So,
another? Is
yeah,
that
so-
another adversity token he's using?
Should I use an adversity token?
You
You know,
guys,
I really want this to succeed. So I'm
you
gonna
got an adversity token when you did fail your charm check too.
Oh, really?
You did. You failed.
Okay.
So you're
So
sitting at 3 right now.
So yeah. So I want to use 2 because I really want him to poop.
Okay. Roll it.
Okay, so that's a +4 already. So it is a
Come on, big money.
very high one. Come on. All right.
8.
So that's so 8. I hope that's enough.
Oh, it's enough.
Oh my
It's
gosh!
enough.
What is it called? What is it
So-
called?
Oh. So okay. So I'm sitting. I utter the words. When you feel something splatter, diarrhea, and I flick my wand sneakily.
Oh no. Oh no. Describe how you make him poop himself.
Okay.
Words
Wow.
I thought I would never say as a DM, but here we are.
So right after he nudges me, right, and he keeps
mhm.
walking, he's gonna take about 5 to 10 steps, and then he's gonna get that like uncomfortable like stomach turn, right, that catches him off guard, like ugh, and then he's gonna take another step, and then it's gonna hit him again, like just the stomach turning, and then finally he gets the gurgling, the like it's just in the pit of his stomach, and he doesn't have fucking time. He doesn't have time to just drop what he's doing and run to the bathroom. It just comes shotgunning out of his fucking pants, out of his
God.
robes,
And I just
everywhere.
lean, and we've all stopped and turned, and we're looking, and I see, and I'm just like, I see the wand from Azak's pointed. I'm like, oh my god, no, no! And basically, after it splatters out his pants, and everyone is stopped, and we look, I just go, and I turn off all the lights really quick.
You do.
I put my wand away too.
You know what? You all the lights. There are candles and torches everywhere, and they all with a big just gust of air.
It just smells like shit
so
and regret.
rancid. That's gross.
In the moment that the spell hits Greg, he turns over his shoulder and looks at you, and you can see the fear in his eyes, and then his body just gets tense, you know, like when you're clenching to try to hold things in. He clenches his whole body, but it's unsuccessful. The lights go out and you hear a ruckus, and the guy beside you goes, dude, you're gonna get in so much trouble, you better get out of here.
I want to teleport us out again. I'm going for it.
Going
What's the
for it.
spell on that one?
Okay.
We failed
Okay.
once, but I want to get us the same thing. I'm doing the exact same thing that I tried in the duel. But
What's
this
the
time with,
teleport spell for
with
that one?
3 people this time.
And you know,
Uh,
I think before I said brains, but actually looking at it, it's probably a flight check.
Flight,
So yeah, roll flight this time.
Okay, that's not better.
Okay, well
Come on.
I'll let you choose between brains and flight. How about that?
Then I'm go. Oh, let me see, because I thought there's flight 4, brains is 6. Yeah, let's go 6.
Roll your brains.
Yes.
Roll your brains. Ha
Wait,
ha.
did I have anything extra? No, I didn't. I don't have anything extra for okay, whatever. Let's go.
Oh my god! Oh my
Louise.
god!
Hey, he
That's
earned it.
teleporting.
Well, my new
What was,
my new goal in this whole game is to perfect
To
this
just
one spell.
what is the name of this teleport spell anyway?
I had it written down. What did I?
It just keeps failing.
Oh my god! Invisible.
Yeah, 'cause
got
I
invisible.
I didn't get to say it last time because I failed this time. So I'm gonna say I don't have the proper pronunciation. So everything I'm saying is just the wrong one. Like
Okay. I don't even
I'm
know what to call it. We don't even know what to call it. You just say words and it's like, "Eh."
I'm just saying, yeah, Toledo. I tried that and it didn't work.
Where were you trying to teleport to?
At least outside of like just kind of like out in a grassy area. That's
Just like
basically.
out the door, basically in the courtyard.
Yeah, in the courtyard. I wanted to get away from the situation. So it was kind of a random roll. I wanted to get us as far away as quickly as possible.
So I'll say, you know what? I'll say that you do teleport. The three of you um plus your familiars out of the room.
Okay.
But
Where
you
are we? Yeah.
overshoot the courtyard. You find yourself at Pepper's grandmother's tea shop. Or tea
No.
shop. Tea shop. I'm really making her eye roll now.
That's-
It's her
Herb
tea.
shop.
It's the urban leaf shop. We can call
Yeah.
it the tea shop. It's solid.
Yeah,
Graham
no.
doesn't mind.
That's I mean, hey, we're away, right? That's
Oh, that works.
calling that a
Being
win.
being off school grounds, you would know without
We're gonna
permission.
get in so
is
much trouble, you
also-
guys. I haven't gotten
also-
permission. I haven't gotten permission to go see Grant. Shit.
Well, here's you got to look at the
Keep
cup
on
as
couch,
half
just
full. You got to look at the cup half full. One, they don't know we're away right now.
They don't.
And two,
Well,
we're
at
out
least
of
they
that
don't.
bad situation.
The poo shelf.
Yes, exactly.
Do you think Gran can teleport us back?
Yeah,
Because
she
clearly we're
usually-
having trouble.
If not, I can give it another try.
Oh, we could definitely go in and ask her.
We're gonna end up back in Manhattan.
All right, but we can't go through the front door because if anybody else sees us from the school, they're gonna know. So I take them around the.
Before you go in,
We're going around
you're
the back
looking.
section.
So the school sits up on the top of this. Basically, it's a small. I'd say it's a mountain, but it's really just like a kind of a tall hill. The school sits way up top. And as you're moving around back, you see a very bright flash of light in all of the windows of the school.
Wow. So wait.
Guys, did you see that?
So every single because I'm imagining the
single
school is
window.
gigantic. So
It's a giant castle. Every
yeah,
single
okay.
window.
So that can't be good whatsoever.
Oh,
Glass
alarm
even
triggered.
glass even more full. We weren't in the middle of whatever just happened there.
How bad does it make somebody poo their pants, Azax?
Gonna be honest, that was my first attempt at that. It worked glorious.
It smelled terrible.
I
Do you think it
mean,
was a little too powerful?
at least he
I mean-
didn't summon a full human out of somebody's butt.
You
That
know-
would have been bad.
He was kind of addicted to Zachary, man, and he's kind of taking a lot. I just
Okay,
felt like
so-
he was getting bullied.
I think-
So let's go in the back. Let's go in the back. Let's talk to Gran. I need to tell her about the flash. I don't know. We at least need to tell her that we're in danger because then that way she can cover for us. I mean, she's a little strict and she might like make you guys clean things, but it'll be good. So I'm leading them around the back on the
Mhm.
back alley, and we pass some cans and some crates, and we go to the back door, and I try the doorknob.
Yeah, the doorknob's unlocked. As Gran usually keeps it, so you can sneak in. You sneak in the back, and you're
Make-
inside the leaf shop.
So this flash again, was there any distinctive color or anything to it?
It was a little bit blue, just a little bit blue.
Just a little blue flash in the entire school, though, in
All
this
the way.
entire giant castle.
As far as you could see from the perspective you were at.
And that definitely doesn't seem right. And your grandmother might know about this.
Well, I think she might have an idea, especially since towards her room, she has a couple of instruments that she uses to monitor the residual magic around the island. She's had it for a long time, and it might pick up if there was any disturbances that were loud enough or big enough. Um, So I could definitely try. So we're down in the back room, and I'm quietly kind of like moving around the boxes because it's dark. And I'm like, please don't trip over the aloe. Watch it, Azax. It's gonna hurt you. And like we're just moving. We're moving towards the front of the shop
Guys,
to get to the stairs.
I think I know what those lights are. I
Aurora
haven't yet.
Borealis?
No. Do you think it went off because we left the school grounds? Like as if
An alarm?
they traced magic outside the school. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if they track us or whereabouts. I don't know. It's just I don't know. That's kind of weird. We left, then that happens.
Huh.
Like maybe we triggered an alarm.
Well,
mean-
and then
It's only one way to find out, I guess.
so
That's
then
true.
what I'd like to do is I'm going to point my wand at my feet and cast Mott, which increases my foot speed without exhausting myself, and I'm just going to hustle myself up the stairs.
Okay. Roll flight.
Dun, 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 dun. Just get me there.
It's for a speedster move? Is that what we're going for?
Mott is the root word in Latin for moving. So
Okay.
it just increases your foot speed without exhausting yourself. And I thought, even if I'm just trying to run up the stairs real quick to go catch Gran. Here we go. Oh, it's
Wow.
out of a
Roll-
6. It's a
roll it
D6 on a
again.
D6.
It
Come on,
exploded.
baby.
Roll it again. There you
Nice.
go.
11.
So
11.
as soon as you cast it, as soon as the spell takes hold of your feet, you're already up the stairs. You're there. You move one step and it's like you've moved a mile.
Oh, it's like 7 league boots. I love it.
So damn fast.
So I'm up in the top part of the shop, which is the living space. So the stairs come up, and there's a door, and I gently rap on the door to see if Gran's awake. I mean, it's not very late in the day.
Yeah.
We just had
Yeah,
dinner.
it's like 6 p.m. She might have just closed up for the day. So you rap on the door, and the door opens, and she goes, "Pepper, my dear, how can I help you?"
Hi, Gran. So my friends and we accidentally tried to use that teleportation spell that they were teaching us in Charms. And we ended up getting off the school grounds and landing in front of the shop. Is it okay if I have them come upstairs? I think we have a couple of questions that we might try to get back to school without getting in too much trouble. Would you help?
Yes. Bring your friends up. We'll sit down. We'll have something to drink, and we'll talk about anything you want to talk about.
Meanwhile,
Huh.
I'm just smelling random ingredients.
It is.
You're just
It
opening
is
up the lids.
so pleasant on your nose. Like this, the smells of the shop are just fragrant, floral. You
I get the smell of poop out of my nose. God.
Oh,
great.
it is the exact opposite. You smell lavender, you smell ginger, you smell lemongrass, and just everything that is pleasant, just wafting in your nose. And it is a stark contrast to the horrific smell you just cast.
And I just kind of I walk down the steps a couple of spaces and go, guys, Gran said we can come upstairs. She's going to help us out. If you want to come this way. And I see Azax with his nose in the myrrh. And I said, that's not a bad one. If you, if you want to take that, I mean, usually we can mix it with wine and it's pretty good.
You know what? That sounds really good. Yeah, I'll try it. Let's do this. Wait, it's wine. Are we allowed?
No. You add it to wine. So myrrh is kind of the way we extract myrrh, and I'm kind of explaining this down. So myrrh, it's the little syrupy bottle that you're holding right there. It kind of smells like plums and figs, and you can warm it if you wanted to and put it into your wine, and it gives it a little extra spice, and it's really kind of woody and earthy, and it smells really good. But you can definitely take that one. I just won't tell her. I'll make sure we get some next one when the boat comes in from the mainland. We have some extra myrrh for our next shipment.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. I don't want to take from your grandmother though. I feel
No, come up. I know she'll be happy to meet you guys. Come on. Well, she's met Eli, but she hasn't met you yet. Come on.
okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to make our way upstairs.
I go up there too.
Yeah,
But normal speed. Normal speed.
Yes.
Normal speed. But before you even realize it, Pepper's already up the stairs again. You walk up at a normal pace. You make your way upstairs, and it's a very modest, just living space above the herb shop. Sat down in front of there's a bed. There is it's all one room. It's kind of a studio apartment. There is a table, and on it you can
We
see.
have a back room. It's not just a studio. We get the one. It's like the main room and one room because Gran likes her privacy.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. And so at the kitchen table, she is pouring a hot beverage. There are cups set out, and she says, "Ah, welcome, my dears. Come, sit down, sit down. Tell me about your day, your first day of school."
We might be in some major trouble.
That's why we didn't do it.
Fast forward, there may have been a duel, pleading the fifth, and there may have been some poop, also pleading the fifth, and we, sort of, kind of teleported here.
It was an accident.
Again, pleading the fifth. So, bright lights though, coming out of the school. Well, what's that all about?
I
That
sat down and I
sounds
picked
like
up
a
my
lot. You
Busy
sit down
day.
and what?
Busy day.
I'm sitting down at the table with my cup while Eli's doing that, and I'm just sitting there and I've got the cup in my hands and I just slowly take a drink and I'm looking at my grandmother and looking at Eli and looking at Isaac and like, down, take the tea.
She summoned you both to sit down, and she says, "Please sit, drink."
Yeah.
She looks at Eli, she looks at Azax, and she goes, "Are you two boys getting my sweet little Pepper in trouble?"
Not at all. Not at all.
No. She's actually looked out for us a lot.
Yeah, more helpful than anybody else in the school has been.
I think without her, we'd probably be getting into scary situations. But she's our moral compass. And then I like put my hand on her and like, all buddy type stuff.
And then all you
She
hear
looks-
is this is
She looks at you, Pepper, and goes, "Are these boys getting in trouble around you?"
and I set my teacup down. No, Gran.
She gives you a look.
So I mean it. I mean it. It's not their fault. We've been trying to practice, and there was just a situation with some really uncomfortable upperclassmen, and Azax and Eli. All they were trying to do was get away. There wasn't any other problems. We weren't getting in trouble. Nobody got hurt. Somebody got sick, but that wasn't any of our faults. It just kind of happened. And I mean, I really they're just so good, and I know that they aren't trying to get anybody in trouble. And like I said, it literally Eli was just practicing the teleport spell to see if he could get us across the Great Hall.
Allegedly.
Um,
Allegedly.
no, remember, because you did practice. We were practicing in the
Yeah,
Great Hall where we are under the supervision of our
pantomiming it
professors.
more so, I would say.
Under our professors, right, Eli? Where we were just trying to practice the movement, and you cast the teleportation spell that we can't still figure out because Professor Bethany hasn't like worked on the diction part of it.
Yeah, it's magic is all kind of wibbly wobbly and unpredictable at times. You know how that is.
And I don't know if Pepper might have mentioned it, but my last name's Emberwolf, and I don't know if you're familiar with my family, but we're not a lot of us know magic, and I'm still trying to get used to things. So trying magic is kind of hard for me, and sometimes it's hard for me to kind of get a grasp on it, and that kind of gets me in trouble, ma'am. I don't mean to get your daughter in trouble. That's not my intent. She kind of, or granddaughter, excuse me. She kind of keeps me in line, and I don't know where my magic abilities would be without having her to help guide me. And she's she's my underclassman, which I really
She raises a hand and goes, "Oh, I wasn't suggesting that you shouldn't get her in trouble. In fact, I think a little bit of trouble at school is well worth it. It is quite the learning experience. In my day, we were not always rule followers. In
Oh,
fact,
thank the gods.
I think that you will learn more by doing than by following rules. However, I will say it's not wise to run from your problems, no matter how deep in the shit you get."
Scath.
Yeah, it's topical. That's topical. That's funny.
And I just take a drink and I'm like,
Now, you said you saw some lights at the school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the whole school though, like
The whole school kind of lit up.
kind of like a bluish hue.
I've never heard of anything like that. That is quite interesting. However, we do need to get you back before somebody notices. You guys are always welcome at my home and at my herb shop. Please, you're welcome to come here to have tea with me at any time. You're allowed to take my myrrh, and she kind of gives you a look, Azax, and then gives you one, Pepper, and goes, "However, getting you back to school right now before you get caught is probably the best idea. If you're ready, take a sip of your tea and I'll get you back there safely. Come to see me on the weekend and we can talk more. I'd love to know more about both you, Azax, and you, Eli. Pepper?"
Grant, before we go, can you check that artifact that you have that checks the levels of the magic on the island just to see if there was any type of a spike or a surge? Um, like the guy said when we came down, there was just this really, really brilliant flash from all the windows of the school, and I'm kind of nervous to go back if something happened.
"I'll do that now." And she stands up and she walks over to just a small table over against the wall. And it's something like one of those like old school stock tickers where there's just this paper stringing out, just constantly. She picks it up and you see her moving along and reading it. And she goes, "Huh, I've never seen that. This was just a few minutes ago?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you see on the paper there, she flips it around and shows you, and you see it's kind of like a seismograph where there's just like a line and then a few little waves and a few little waves, but around the time that she has in her hands, there's nothing. It's just blank. She goes, it's never been blank before, not in my nearly 50 years working at this herb shop has it been blank, not once.
And
That
so,
is
refresh my
interesting.
memory, Pepper. This thing records all magical activity.
Yeah, I mean, there's usually like just kind of a baseline one, which is just the regular magic around the island. It pertains particularly to the island itself, and so it's got the barrier usually on there too, which is the baseline reading, and then everything. So if we're practicing up at the school, the spikes aren't high enough for it to make a really big drastic difference. But
Oh,
um, if there's not, Grant, there's nothing on it.
so if there's nothing, that means no magic has happened.
Correct. Well, at least it would seem.
Uh,
I don't think I've ever seen this. I have to go back through the records. It'll take me a bit of time, but I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in the 50 years that I've had this thing.
I want to test a little levitation, a little simple levitation spell with like the teacup.
Yeah.
Do you want
For
to
it.
do a raise Germus?
Just like,
You'd probably better trying to charm the teacup in some way.
yeah.
Use your most powerful spell. Get a good reading.
What? I mean, what's levitation?
Flight.
Oh yeah, let's not do that then.
Why don't you try to? Why don't you try to make the teacup pour tea come out or something?
Yeah, the
And just
teapot.
on the
Enchant the teapot to pour some more tea in your cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try that. Just something real simple. And I just want to kind of in a like a trance voice point my wand at the tea kettle and just go pour with charm, right? Okay.
Roll your charm.
Is our familiars around us?
Yeah, everybody was.
yeah, 'cause-
everybody came with you.
Yeah, he said
Lionel fits in my pocket. Hello. Sorry.
17.
You do that. The teapot erupts to life, flies through the air, starts pouring the tea into your cup, and you see simultaneously the ticker start to vibrate again. The marks show up, especially since you're in such close proximity, and there are readings again. But
Well-
in the period of time, and it was only probably about the short amount of time that that you saw the flash, that there was nothing. Like, it's a short amount of time that there's nothing on the paper. It had picked back up again, but it clearly picks up your spell.
All right, so magic's not gone. That's a good thing.
Something knocked the magic out for
A split second?
a second at the school.
Or something doesn't want us to know what was cast.
Maybe we
Gran?
should tell somebody about that.
Gran, is there anybody at school that you trust? I mean, I know you've known everybody since they've been here, but ever since they changed in some of the newer teachers, is there anybody you think that we could talk to that, like, you would recommend?
So if this is a malicious spell, Professor Vex would be the one to investigate that. He'd probably be the best one to talk to, I would think.
I mean, we don't know it's malicious, though. I mean,
And
it's,
then maybe
we know it
Professor
could be a
Nettle?
distraction.
I would say that anything that causes magic to either stop or be hidden at that school likely would be malicious. Your potions teacher, your astronomy teacher, your numerology teacher, your charms teacher, probably not the people to ask. I would certainly seek out Professor Vex at first.
What about Professor Goldhorn? Would you think he might know if there was another history of temporary interception of magic from a historical point of view?
He very well could. He very well could. If it's ever happened before.
well, we're
Maybe
not on
we
the
should get
we're not on the best terms with Vex right now. So,
I didn't do it.
Can I give you all three a little advice?
Yeah.
shoot.
Always open to advice.
It's quite all right to make mistakes. Where people respect you and where you learn the most about yourself is when you face up to those mistakes. When you stand tall, stand with pride, and are willing to ask for help.
Well,
All right.
Gran, if you don't mind, could you give us a little help getting us back to that school?
I'd love to, my dears. If you're ready, stand up.
And
She
push
comes
out the
over
chair.
to you, Pepper. She comes over to you, Pepper, and she kind of dusts you off. Make sure you're okay. Gives you a big hug. And goes,
And a
"Oh,
kiss her on the cheek.
Wait, Pepper, do you have anything that like we can contact Gran from the school? Like that's not we don't have our phones with us. So I mean, do
Well-
you have
well, I-
anything that like you can maybe like an enchanted stone so you can pass messages or something, or a spell that can deliver her, basically put communications to her.
Well, I
Is
look at Gran and I
bad.
go, Gran, do you want me to tell him about the stone?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
And so I pull out I reach down into my pocket and I pull out a very small, um, a lapis, a little lapis stone that's about this big, and it's this brilliant, shimmery, dark blue. And I hold it up, and it matches you don't see it, but Gran slowly pulls this chain from around her neck and down, holding on the pendant is a lapis. And I hold my stone and I say, this lapis is actually how, if there's ever an emergency, I'm supposed to contact Gran. It's actually part of the same stone that's in her necklace. And it's imbued with a communication spell. It's small enough that I don't have to work very hard to activate it, but
Okay.
I do need to press it against my lips so that she can hear me. So if at any other time, if I just kind of leave it in my pocket, I won't hear it. It does get warm to the touch, kind of like the way that our communication spells works between all of our items. So it does get warm whenever she's trying to call. But that way, I'm always close to her heart.
Okay, good.
You are always close to my heart, my dear. Now, let's get you three back to school. She puts her hands together, pulls out her wand, waves it above you. This magical dust falls down. You disappear, and you appear right in front of Professor Vex's office, where she recommended that you go.
All right.
Fred.
I
The
guess.
door is cracked
wait.
open, and you see him sitting at his desk.
All right. Let me handle some of the talking here with old Vexy guys.
I tell Luna to stand outside the door and
And I
just
put my lapis back in my pocket.
uh like while we're in there, just keep watching if anything happens to signal me. So Luna's on the outside.
So Professor Vex,
Mr. Carter, come in, come in. And is that Mr. Emberwolf out there as well?
yeah.
Yes, sir. And I
Yes.
bow my head.
Come in, come in. Anybody else out there with you?
Pepper's with us here
And
as well.
And I slowly
Miss
raise my hand.
Leibowitz, please come.
Hello, Professor.
How are you all doing? How was your summer?
Our summer was fine.
This is
Fantastic.
the same
Fantastic.
teacher,
But-
correct?
Yeah.
Same teacher.
Yes.
He
Same
looks
teacher.
genuinely happy to see you. He's got he's kind of got a small mouth, and he's usually got this kind of resting frown, but he has just a kind of a smile on his face. And he says, "It's a pleasure seeing you this year. Are you all enjoying your first day of classes?"
Yeah.
First day of classes.
Oh,
No, this is the
sir.
first day.
First
Yeah,
days.
it's first day
First
of
day?
class. It was the first day back. Yeah.
Everything's all right. Are we still on for detention?
Detention? Why in the world would you have detention?
I want to grab the other guys and pull them back a little to a small huddle, like by the door. I mean, it's totally invisible sight of Vex,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I just kind of want to. So I'm right that we had detention from the duel, right?
Yeah.
You guys were totally in trouble. I got out of that.
Okay.
He doesn't.
This
Something's
guy,
off.
he seems a little more
He-
pleasant than he
he
normally does.
Pipes
Right?
up
Yeah.
and goes. He pipes up and goes. If you had any detention left over from last year, I assure you it does not roll over this year.
No,
Oh,
I
good.
think
I
that's
was-
what ended it.
Was worried about that. That's why I wanted to come in and discuss. Whew.
Yes. Well, it's about time for recreation. Have you all checked in with your head boy Dylan?
No.
Well, with Dylan. Where did you last see Dylan, Professor?
Oh, he's probably in the dormitories.
In the South
Um,
Dormitory still?
Wait a minute.
have you seen Professor? Have you seen Zachary? Zachary Banks?
Thanks.
Banks?
I'm sorry, who?
Mr. Banks.
The
Yeah.
Zachary?
No, had a
Didn't
splinter in his butt.
About yay tall.
I
No.
don't know that I know a student by that name. Is he a new student?
Well,
Ye-
Dr. Badger was the one when we were doing brooms last year, and there was that incident. You remember Peggy when she fell off her broom?
Peggy? Peggy who?
Peggy Simpson? She ate it really, really bad when we were on the practice ground. She just totally like face everywhere. Like I you
She gives you
don't
just a blank stare.
What consortium were we with?
cohort.
Vex? Cohort. Thank you.
You're in the Finches, are you not?
Yeah. I slips my memory from time to time.
Did
Well,
you miss orientation?
He
No-
keeps thinking he's part of the Bulls with you. Sometimes I think it's one of his admirations. You know, he wants to be like you guys. Maybe next year or something.
Yes, well, we all would like to be better at the things we are weak at. However,
Did he just
Um,
diss me?
He did.
No. Shh. Say it under your breath.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely under the breath.
however,
Um,
if you're looking for new students, there is a roster. Fortunately, I don't know who you're speaking of. I definitely do not know a Zachary or a Peggy.
Oh, maybe I misheard their names. I think they go by their middle names. That's probably why.
Is Gregory still helping out with the sports teams? Gregory Meck?
You mean Mr. Gregory Hall?
yep, Gregory Hall.
Gray Hall.
We
Yeah,
are
the
bad with names.
yeah.
Yep.
I thought he was a badger. Is he not a
No,
badger?
Mr. Gregory Hall graduated last year. Are
Uh,
you three okay?
Yeah, we're perfectly fine. We're just a little exhausted from pre-studying for classes. That's what that
Definitely.
is.
Professor Nettle's got
Indeed.
that really wicked test coming up, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
have just literally been trying to pay attention, and I'm beat. I am so beat. Oh my
just
gosh.
Professor Nettle is a hard one. She looks wiry, but she is very
Feisty.
very thorough.
just
All right.
out of curiosity, because I seem to be forgetting a lot of people making mistakes. I think I cast a spell that might have went awry. But what year is it again?
2019, as it has always been. Are you okay, Mr. Emberwolf?
No, I think might have fell off my broom one too many times. Should go see the nurse.
Would you look at the time as well? We have to go.
Yeah, we better go find Dylan.
Yeah.
If you go back to your dormitory and on the way you pass Mr. Dooley Dunn, please send him into my office.
Dooley.
Okay.
Yes, Mr.
Yeah,
Dooley Dunn.
we can keep an eye out for Dooley. Is he in any type of trouble?
No trouble. Just wanted to have a chat with him.
Let's go find Dooley then. If we,
Yeah.
What grade? I've never met Dooley. What year is he?
He's about the same year as you
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Not Miss Leibowitz, but as you two.
checks out.
Yeah, checks
Let's
out.
we will do that. If we see him, we'll send him right to you.
I know he's not in your dormitory. He is in the Badger dormitory. But if you pass him in the hall, please send him on his way. If not, I will have one of the teachers send for him.
Can do.
Aye.
All right.
Kind of slowly back out of the office there, just to out
Yeah.
into the hallway and close the door behind us.
I don't turn my
Mhm.
back to him. I just kind of
I'm like,
back out. Kinda keep my awkwardly back out of the door. While we were in there though, did Luna notice anything outside?
Luna noticed nothing.
Okay.
So
holy smokes.
okay, we got him acting very weird and not knowing who basically regular students are.
Well, there's students in our grade. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
You think if head boys get in so much trouble that they basically just get wiped off the face of the planet and they just pick a new one?
No, because
Oh.
there's other students that are missing too. Then
So then,
because he doesn't remember Peggy and the
Mm-mm.
incident that happened. They're hitting her face.
and then we should
He
definitely
doesn't remember
ask.
Pickering.
We need to see if it's only him or is it everybody that doesn't remember these two.
I'm thinking we need to go see Zachary's old room to see if his
Well, let's-
stuff is still there.
Do you know what? Let's find Dylan. I'll find Dylan. And then we can. Does everybody have their communication? Their communicators?
Yeah.
Think of our combs.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can go. I can go check in with Dylan. And then that way I can see what I can find out. And I'll
I
make
thought it was
sure
2019.
It is 2019.
it is 2019.
Nothing's changed for that.
No, the year's still fine. The problem is I've never seen Professor Vex so smiley.
And agreeable.
Agreed.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Nice. I am so glad I made so many notes.
I was about to say, like,
I'm glad that too, because I have ADHD. So the more notes you take and the more notes you have and can keep me honest for, the better I am as a DM. So I
so
appreciate that.
did we ever figure out Dooley's last name? Like ever
Done.
beforehand? No, before
Totally done. No.
before that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So
You
this is
never
the first.
asked.
Yeah.
You would know that it's the same name.
Okay. I'm like,
Like you've met Dooley before. It's his name.
okay.
Wait, it's actually 2019 when this takes place.
Yeah.
Yes,
he
as
said
I
it.
established last
2027.
time.
Oh no,
Yes.
I could
I
not
was
bring
under the
myself.
I was
Yeah.
under the impression that we were just taking like this year. Like
Yeah.
it's-
No.
No, I
Okay.
couldn't bring myself to RP 2020. Not even in
Okay.
fantasy.
Well,
Not
I thought
even
we
in
were
a
just gonna
magical
rewrite-
world.
rewrite history of
No.
2020.
Remember, I told you the first thing I would have done was just fixed every disease, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I remember now. So
Okay,
Ugh.
so do we have any more? Oh, I guess we should do that off air because we're still. I was gonna go. Who wants to count how many fails they got? Because right now,
No, do that on
Oh.
air. Have that ever for everybody who's watching or listening to the podcast and watching the YouTube. Let them know how many adversity tokens you have.
I
I have no idea.
I think I have 2 failures from.
Two teleports at least.
Yeah, it's 2 teleports, so that's 2 failures. Then yeah, and I used all my tokens before with everything else, so I just had 2. I'm like,
you have
And
3.
the
currently.
start of next
wait,
session.
where's my third one?
You had one. So we had the one for
Because
that.
start off with 3, right?
No, yeah, you started off with 3.
Okay, and I
and then
used
you used
2.
those.
Wait, did I use 2 or 1 for?
You used 2, I think, for the thing I helped you with.
Because wait, you gave me 2 or 1?
I gave you 2, and then I thought you used 2.
Because well then, did I roll a 4 or a 5 on that? I thought I rolled a 4. I'd have to go back and see the FOD, but
Look, I'm no rules lawyer. You guys tell me how many adversity tokens you had at the end of this session. You will all get 3 additional ones at the beginning of the next session. So
okay.
3 plus whatever you have left over from this session.
Then I'll go
and
with
that will
3.
be your start. Yeah, that'll be your starting. It's
Okay,
fine.
So they'll have,
Yeah.
so they'll have 6 rolls together coming in next time.
All right.
Yeah, fantastic. And let's do a little debrief, just so anybody who's watching, who caught up, or who's catching in now can kind of get a debrief of this session. We'll start with Eli, how was the session for you? What did you learn? What did you like? What did you dislike?
I was probably say I'd probably say I didn't really dislike anything. Oh no, you know what? I'll take that back. I disliked the amount of time I got to duel that other, to duel Dooley because of the interruption that happened. But I mean, that wasn't anything that I controlled or that was out of my hands. But I do like that.
Literally in Steven's hands.
Yes, I do like the failure of the exact same ability over and over again, because I feel like there's motivation to try to perfect that. Because like when I did the reflect one, there was no problem. I just mirrored it right back onto somebody else, and that was fine.
Oh yeah, you succeeded on that.
Yeah, I succeeded on that, but when it came to any time that I wanted to teleport with something, it just does not work. So I like that. I feel like it gives my character a new little motivation to try to perfect something that he felt like he should have been naturally good at, and it just didn't work out for him that way. So yeah.
I like that. Pepper, how was tonight's session for Pepper? What did you learn? What did you like? How did it go?
It actually went really well. She's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 new spells that
Jeez.
she's got in there. In her little notey book,
In her
including
repertoire, yeah.
including the one to manipulate wood. Haha. Great joke. It was a really great learning experience. It was wonderful to see Gran again, and knowing that suddenly there's so many students that seem to have been missing or suddenly have disappeared into a literal poof of something is really kind of exciting, and I'm excited to see what happens next.
As am I. And last but not least, Stephen with Azax. Azax, how was Azax's night? What did he enjoy, and what does he hope to do next week?
I the whole time dueling, I think was a bit nerve wracking because I was hoping that the spells would like buy me time. Like I was hoping to buy time so that Eli could like hit him with something or like be able to like play off of what I was doing. It worked differently, but I still enjoyed how it turned out.
Yeah, it definitely ended faster than I thought it would. But when you cast the spell that you cast, like the opportunity was there, it went wrong, and it had to go wrong. And that's exactly how it had to go wrong. So I really liked everybody's roleplay tonight. I think everybody did a fantastic job with their characters. I'm excited to see where this goes and solve the mystery at Salem Academy.
Yeah. Now we get into the mystery part. That's definitely. I'm hyped. I'm hyped for this. Yes.
Yeah. The mystery part is kicking in now. This is great.
All right. Well, then we will wrap it here and call it an end of episode 2. And we'll be back on next week around the same time. Just check out the social medias. And see you later, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.